everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. Download your starter guide to get started with this amazing practice and to discover it further. Welcome to a new weekly reading. We've got my own deck here, the Silhouettes deck, and we are doing a line of 7 today. Let's go ahead and start with you, Aries, and see what the week has in store for you. Okay, Aries, here is your line of 7, and I really think there's some kind of cancellation today, or this week, I should say. We've got the Scythe and Letter with the heart. This is typically a heartbreak, and at the end of the line, we have the Coffin. Now, in the middle, we have the Ship, which is usually a trip. It can mean travel outright, but it can also mean other projects generally. So what exactly is canceled depends on you specifically, Aries. Now, the heart and Scythe is typically a heartbreak. Now, I don't think this is going to be something super dramatic or super painful, although it can, maybe for some of you. And the Scythe and Letter can be sudden news or a breakthrough, but because of the Coffin, I'm inclined to think this is more about a cancellation. Now, the Ship, Flowers, and Book and Coffin, like all of this line here, suggests that a trip or a project that you had been wanting to do is postponed. The Book and Coffin closes the situation, if you like. And the thing about the Flowers is that it suggests that you had been wanting to do this. So this is something you're looking forward to do. Now, the Letter and Flowers suggest some good news normally. So this is the news you had been looking forward to. The Scythe and Book suggests some sudden news, just like we saw with the Scythe and Letter. And the Heart and Coffin suggests a parting or a time apart, missing someone, missing something, and having to put things on hold. So it's really the bottom line with the Coffin that guides, this whole line where it's heading. This could have been a happy revelation or something else coming up, but the Coffin really seals how this line goes. So maybe this week isn't the best time, Aries. Maybe you're better off waiting a little bit. And also, I'm suspecting that with the Book and Coffin, there might be some better planning or some more details that you need to get into before you launch, before you travel, or before you go for this project. So this is not the end of the world, but this is maybe putting things on hold a little bit and adjusting the plan. The Flowers is still bright, and the Ship by itself is bright. So it sounds like it's just a matter of time before you're able to move forward. Let me know what you make of these ideas, Aries. Are you going to put something on hold for the week, or does something come through that affects your intentions and your projects? I look forward to know in the comments. So very best of luck with this. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Taurus, here is your line of 7, and it looks like you're in for a new beginning. There's a new phase or something new. And on this side of the triangle, we see the dog, which is a person card, a friend, and it points to changes and things that you're doing probably together. So beginning here, we've got the Book and Child and the Child and Moon. So it's a new beginning in either combination. This is a new chapter and this is a new phase. And then the Tree is a lovely card for everything, really. It's a card of well-being. It points to a slower process. And it does look like you can take your time with, this new beginning and this new unfolding. But with the Child and Flower and then Tree, it does suggest something that blooms, a seed that grows into this lovely tree. Now, the Dog and Cloud suggests some challenges in a relationship. It's not very dramatic, but it does point to issues and tensions. But the thing about the Stork is that it does help clarify the air, clear the air, clear up any issues or misunderstandings or any tension that could be at play here. And the Tree is really helpful with this because the Tree is a card of well-being and patience, and it suggests that you're able to turn things around in a situation or with this person more specifically. Now, the Moon and Dog suggests a good connection here. This could be an invitation or some kind of chemistry developing with this person. The Child and Cloud suggests this new beginning again, but it does have some complications. And the Book and Stork is very good at opening up the book and revealing things and getting things into motion. So it's really nice to see the Stork at the end of the line because it sounds like you had a bit of slowness, a bit of difficulty with this person or getting things off the ground. Maybe they're involved in this new beginning in one way or another. but the stork really helps get things off the ground. So this is a great time, Taurus, to get started with something or to turn the page on something. It sounds like you give this person a chance. It sounds like you're able to get things off the ground together, connect, collaborate, or whatever context you're working through together. On this note, the cards are really flexible in terms of context, Taurus. We're not seeing if this is in relation to work, a relationship, home, family, money, health, or some other area. The tree can be a card of health. It sounds like in this case, you are able to make progress. Maybe with the dog and clouds, you find a new practitioner or you're able to clarify matters with someone. Same idea when it comes to relationships. There's a new chapter with a person. It's either a new person altogether or it's you're renewing your connection with someone. And in this case, there's an opportunity here to clarify issues. At work, things work out nicely as well. You could be solving a problem. You could get a new job. This is possible. And in this sense, you could face some issues with people, with colleagues, but you're soon on the other side of them. So it's a really nice line to get things off the ground, to move into a new beginning, and to work through any issues that come up. And I want to remind you, Taurus, that the clouds is not a difficult card. It's not a very difficult card. It just asks for clarifying matters and vocalizing if you've been bottling up, things inside your mind. So let me know in what context these cards play out for you, Taurus. I look forward to your feedback as always. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Gemini, let's get into your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Gemini, here is your line of 7. It's pretty interesting. There's a lot of different cards. We have the ship at the end of the line, which is a card of travel. We have the snake, which is often a letting go and a turning away. And we have the coffin just before the ship. So I'm thinking you might move on from something, maybe even give up on it. Earlier, we have the snake, key, and tower. These are great cards for being strategic and for having a plan, especially a long-term plan. And so this is also advice, Gemini, for you to keep your eye on the long-term picture and also to manage your priorities and to know what is to your advantage. The moon can be an offer. It could also be something work-related, but it is a generally positive cards that bring some positive vibes. Now, the heart with the coffin and ship suggests an ending and a time apart. It can cause you to feel a bit of heartache or you miss someone or something. And with the ship here, you could be either moving on or you could be postponing a trip or postponing a project. So things are working out and things are on track, especially for the longer term, Gemini. But for this week, you might need to put something on hold. It might make sense to slow down and also to maybe let go of certain elements that are not aligned with this long-term vision. Now, the tower and heart can point to a long-term love or a long-term interest. The key and coffin is definitely about closing something off, specifically in this order. When the key is after the coffin, it suggests unlocking, but with the coffin after the key, it points to closing. And the snake and ship definitely point to moving away and letting go of someone or something. The snake is also a card of discretion. It is a card that points to silence and diplomacy. So it's a good idea, Gemini, not to make a fuss about what you're doing and what you're moving on from. So just stay focused on your goals and do your thing quietly. You might also want to keep certain things to yourself. That is fine. In terms of people, and I'm not really seeing people cards. We're not seeing specifically relationship cards. But in terms of a relationship, possibly because of the heart, there can be someone who proves to be disappointing. The snake is often a card of cheating, so it can suggest a love triangle. Now, it might not be the case, but it more generally, more loosely speaking, there can be a bit of a disappointment in someone, so you move away, at least for the time being, like you sort of, create some distance. So, Gemini, this is definitely a week to slow down and to put some things on hold. And to also be aware that not everything is aligned with your long-term vision. So you need to adjust that and align with the long-term vision. So take it easy, slow down, avoid rushing, avoid making rash decisions, reconsider or just focus on your long-term strategy. And that's what should be prioritized for you this week. Everything else can be sort of either slowed down. Everything else can either be let go of, or you just put it on hold for the time being. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Gemini. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Cancer, let's get into your weekly reading and let's see what is in store for you. Okay, Cancer, here is your line of 7. It's quite interesting. We do have the mouse at the end of the line, which is a little bit challenging, but we do have some very bright cards. We have the flowers and clover, and we have the tree at the beginning. In the middle, we have the child, which is a card of new beginnings. And earlier, we have the man, which can point to a new relationship, especially with the book, because the book suggests someone unknown or something unknown. So the tree man with the book and child suggests a new chapter with a person or a new relationship. Take your time with it. It can maybe unfold more slowly. Now, the flowers and clover suggest that it's really positive, but we do see the mouse at the end of the line, which can mean some struggles, some issues with the person. And this is going to line up with the tree, which is, again, an encouragement to take your time with the relationship. Now, the cards don't specify in what context we're seeing this relationship. It could be anyone really, but usually the man and woman cards in the deck suggest someone who's pretty significant to you. But by context, I mean if it's in your personal life, if it's in your work life, or in family life, in any other context of your life. So this is flexible. It depends on you and your specifics. Now, the book and flowers is lovely. This is a happy surprise, and it sounds like this relationship is quite positive. The man and clover also proves very supportive. This is another very positive suggestion for how the relationship goes. And the tree and mouse, like I said, is a bit slower. It can bring a few struggles. Maybe you want to move forward faster with this person, but there seems to be a slowing down, and there can be a few obstacles in the way. Another way we could read the line, Cancer, is that this person could bring you an opportunity. So, for example, if you're looking for a project or work or some kind of collaboration, you could meet someone who could help with that. Same idea. It works out well. It has good prospects. It's just a few challenges to, as you get started. And so the same idea can apply in other contexts as well, where someone helpful comes into the picture to help you move forward, maybe to help you resolve problems. But again, patience is key with this relationship. So a lovely new beginning this week, Cancer. I certainly hope you resonate with this. Let me know in the comments what this new beginning was about and how this person was involved in it. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Leo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Leo, here is your line of 7. It's a little bit challenging. We have the cross and mouse together, and we have the clouds, and we have the book. The book is a neutral card, but with these nearby challenging card, and it's going to pair with the clouds here, there's going to be maybe some challenges. Now, in the middle, we have the dog, which is a card of people, a friend, a colleague, a sibling, usually someone like that. And we have the woman, which is another card of a person. So clearly in focus this week for you, Leo, is a relationship. And it sounds like there are some challenges with this person. So the clouds with the key and woman suggest that you're trying to find a solution with this person, and that should be your intention. At the top, we have the dog, which represents that they're a friend or a colleague or a sibling or someone like that. And then we have the mouse with the cross and book. So it sounds like things are going to be closed off for some time, and that you might not be able to find a solution with this person just yet. So it's going to pay off to do some digging and also to be patient, Leo. And you want to prioritize the solution because of the key, which is a solution-oriented card. But at the same time, you need to weigh the options and assess the situation with this person. Now, the woman and mouse suggest that there are some challenges, or that this person could be having challenges and maybe you're here to help, or it can be something personal with them. Usually, in this sense, the mouse brings issues of trust. Usually it suggests that there isn't much trust and there's like a bit of a negative energy here. Now, the key and cross is very much about finding a solution. I have to say, though, Leo, that the cross can make it a bit difficult. Like, you have good intentions and you are focused on a positive bottom line, a positive outcome, but the cross can make things a bit difficult in this broader context. Still see what lessons you can learn and what you can do about this. The clouds and books suggest that things remain closed off, at least within the week. You might not come to a conclusion. This can cause you a bit of frustration, Leo, but take the time to dig deeper into what the issue is. And also, you might want to step back and have a thought about this, consider how you move forward with this person or how you help them. So a little bit challenging and without a firm conclusion for this week. It sounds like this is the transition or the process. Another thing, Leo, is that the cards do not specify, they do not tell us in what context this is figuring. So who this person is, if this is a colleague at work, if this is a personal relationship like a friend or someone even closer, or a family member or some other person in your life who offers you service, for example, or whom you work with for something. So there can be some differences that come up or some issues that come up. You need to try to resolve them and you have that good intention, but I'm not really seeing that there's a positive conclusion within this week, Leo, so you're going to have to give it a bit more time and be more patient. And so during this time, take a step back and have a think about things and assess the situation. So a bit hanging here. Let me know what you make of this, Leo. As always, I look forward to your feedback. I'd be interested in your perspective and who this person is and what the issue was, if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Virgo, here is your line of 7. And honestly, like a lot of people this week, we're seeing an ending and a change. It sounds like it's building on the previous week as well. We have the Scythe and Coffin. This is like a combination that stands out. So it's a very clear message of an ending. Now, the house is at the beginning. The garden is in the middle. These are location cards. So we could be looking at you leaving from a place, maybe moving, but I think more separating yourself from a group or a certain environment. That seems to be what's playing out here. Now, you see we've got the clouds and Scythe between the house and garden. So this could be some challenge that comes up and you need to draw a line or make a break. There can also be forced changes, if you like for example, at a job, people could be laid off, and things like that. So there is a change, there is a separation and a move away from the group or this environment. And then we have the Coffin on the other side of the garden, which is specifically a card of endings. And then we have the Lily and Moon, which is a combination for a phase that is ending or even a job. So both the Lily and Moon can represent your career or a job and your life path or a direction more generally. So this is clearly the end of a phase and it involves letting go of a certain group of people and a certain environment. The cards can be taken as generally neutral. The clouds is a little bit on the negative side because it brings tension and challenges. But the rest of the line can very much be neutral. So this is just a change and a separation and it's time to close something off. The Scythe and Coffin, like I said, it's a very clear combination of an ending. The clouds and Lily suggest some tension, some stress, and probably your life in general or your job or your career direction being a little bit, you could be having some doubts, you could be having some challenges here. And the House and Moon is actually a lovely combination and it points to a sense of well-being and being sort of, settled in a place. But because of the rest of the line, I can't really take it to mean this unless you make a move to another place. I'm not really seeing the new cards or this beginning, but it's possible that obviously in the back of a change, there's a new beginning. So you could find yourself in a better place. You could be taking up an offer in a different place. That is possible. If not, then for the time being, we're seeing the change and we're seeing the need to release yourself from this environment, which is represented by the house along with the moon here and the garden. So this could be quite a turning point, Virgo, this week. There could be a sharp change. And yes, I did suggest the Lily and Moon can be work and career related cards, but they can affect your life more broadly speaking. You could be looking at a house move, and the cards can apply in different contexts in a similar way. So if this is a personal thing, you could be moving away from some friends or a group of people or a place that you were involved in. Work-wise, you could be moving jobs. There can be layoffs and changes like that. In terms of home and family, there can be problems. And again, similarly, moves or, people sort of are driven apart a little bit, at least for the time being. So essentially, the dynamic applies in any context, or it can apply in your life as a whole. So let me know what you make of this, Virgo. This is potentially a handful, so I look forward to your feedback and how you resonated with the cards. If you're willing to share sort of what context this played out for you, I always look forward to your thoughts. So very best of luck with this, Virgo. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Libra. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Libra, here is your line of 7. It's a little bit challenging. It looks like you could be turning down someone and going separate ways or moving in different directions. So at the top, we have the dog, which represents a person, usually a friend, a colleague, a sibling, like someone at your level, so to speak. And then the rest of the cards include some challenging cards, mainly the whip and mouse. And we're seeing movement cards, the ship and road. The road, especially at the end of the line, and we see that it pairs with the whip here, is suggesting a parting. So backing up to the beginning, we have the whip with the tower and ship. So it sounds like it's been a bumpy ride with this person, and you could have been going through a lot of challenges with them. Things aren't smooth. They're not working out. They could be misaligned with your goals and so on. Like all sorts of different possibilities are available to you, of course, depending on your specific circumstances. And then at the top, we have the dog, which, like we said, represents someone. And we have the mouse. So the mouse is another challenging card. It's not as challenging as the whip, in fact, nowhere near, but it does point to bumpiness with a certain path. It's typically about lack of trust when it comes to relationships. So it's clear that something is not smooth with this person. And then we have the letter and road. The letter is a card of communication, and it points to contact or some kind of messaging between you and this person, followed by the road. Now, by themselves, the letter and road are not challenging. They point to news and things opening up and pursuing something. But with the challenges here, I'm thinking it points to a parting. And then we'll see with the whip and road, which is the two bottom cards that pair together, points to a challenging path and most likely like a separation. We also have the ship and mouse at the top here, which is another combination that suggests a difficult path, things not going smoothly. The tower and letter can be some official kind of communication, and then we have the whip and road, which, like we said, points to this parting. So it's pretty straightforward here, Libra, that things aren't working out with this person and you need to agree to move on and agree to disagree. And we see that there's a need to get in touch, to communicate in order to go separate ways. Now, these ideas can apply more specifically in certain contexts. So if it's a personal relationship, a friend, or even a potential love or someone like that, it doesn't look like it works out and it's not, it doesn't have that potential. If it's a colleague, for example, there can be challenges at work. You could also possibly be applying for something and get turned down. That too is possible. In this context, the dog can either represent you, because it's often a junior card that, is about the person wanting to pursue something. And it can represent the person who turns you down or the person you're working with in order to figure this application out. So that too is a possible scenario. So this is the main dynamic. You let me know, Libra, in what context it applies. I would say as a takeaway, don't hang on, let it go as much as you can. And also, if there are difficult people in your life, you have to draw a line at this point because the negative energy is just not supportive. And the same applies to a project. Maybe you're the one who needs to draw the line and call it off and say that this isn't working out. Okay? So let me know what you make of this, Libra. It's a little bit bumpy, but not without a release at some point here with the road. Let me know how it plays out for you and in what context it did. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Scorpio, this is lovely. It's pointing to a move and landing in a very positive space or situation. We have the beautiful star and the sun. The sun is at the top. And these are two of the brightest cards of the deck showing up together in this line and right next to each other. So it's definitely a wish fulfilled or something that you want materializes. Now, earlier we have precisely the cards of moving. So you could be moving homes or moving spaces, but the physical element of this is very well captured in the cards. The stork and house by themselves are often about house moves, but on top of this, we have the coffin, which is a card of ending and clearly suggesting a house move. So it's very likely that there are changes at the physical front in terms of your location or a base or another space that you're part of. But of course, I can't, I can't suggest that this is going to be for every single one of you Scorpios out there. So if it's not a physical move, there are definitely changes. Changes, letting go, moving away from certain things, certain involvements, and like we said, certain spaces. You could also be doing things like taking a vacation or going away, taking some kind of leave of absence, because the coffin is a card of absence as well. Now, the sun and star, very bright cards, really suggesting that this is the right thing to do and that this is something that's going to make you happy. And on top of this, we have the beautiful rider and ring, which is great for a relationship. I would say even a romantic relationship, because the rider is a card of that knight in shining armor sometimes. And the ring is a card of involvement and commitments, not just relationships. So it's very clear that now you have the freedom to pursue things that you want, to pursue something that you enjoy. And it is also a combination for getting away and maybe connecting with others or other things that you've been wanting to connect with. The house and star is great for a domestic wish materializing. So again, if you're moving, you could land in the right place, similar with other spaces. And also it has to do with wish fulfillment in general, because the house is really good at building things and having a strong foundation. So you could achieve and see your effort materialize, right? There's that physical aspect of the house. The coffin and rider is great for going away. And it can also put things into actions after a time of things being on hold. And the stork and ring is lovely for picking things up in a relationship or in your commitments. So these are some lovely cards that bring activity after a time of waiting. They also suggest positive changes, whatever these changes are. Like I said, it could be an outright physical move, house move, and other moves, or it could be other changes in your life that bring relief and that sort of free you to pursue things that you prefer, things that turn you on, I think, really, with the sun and star. Now, in terms of a personal relationship, it's possible that you let go of a relationship and pursue another one. And it's possible that you reconnect with someone. It's sort of flexible if it's talking about an existing love relationship that you're in. So lovely cards, Scorpio. Do pick up the pace. Do be willing to move and change and get going with all of this. It's going to pay off. Let me know what you make of these ideas. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Sagittarius, here is a really curious line. There could be a few things happening, but we're definitely seeing an ending through the stork and coffin, specifically at the end of the line. And earlier here, it's interesting what's happening. I feel you could have been stuck with something, or you were in a place that you weren't too happy in, and the stork and coffin enable you to make that change and release yourself from this. Certainly the clover helps with a positive interpretation because it is one of the brightest cards of the deck. Now, backing up here, we have the moon and whip along with the tree. So the moon and whip and the whip and tree suggest that things weren't going so well. This could have been a job. It could have been an invitation, or maybe you were spending time in a certain space. And it sounds like things aren't going so well. Now, the thing about the mountain, especially with the tree, is that it sounds like you were stuck in this situation and you had to wait. You had to be patient. But then we have the clover, stork, and coffin. And the clover gives you the right opportunity to escape. And we see the escape through the stork and coffin. So you were putting up with a difficult situation, you were sort of stuck, and then you get an opportunity to make a change, and you do. And in this change, you let go, you move away, you escape from this situation. Now, the mountain can also be a card that points to a location in a different city, country, or like farther away from you. And maybe you were involved, you were spending time there, and you were stuck there for some time. So it can represent a physical location in addition to that element of being an obstacle, but it doesn't have to. The root can actually add to the tree can actually add to this, because the tree is a card of being rooted and having roots, and it's associated with the ground. And so with the mountain, it can mean that you had like a connection with a place abroad or in a different place or farther from where you are. It could be family. Some people read the tree as, your family tree and your roots. So it could have been that. And maybe you were stuck in that situation, but it doesn't really matter what kind of situation. It's going to depend on you specifically. The idea is that you have to put up with a certain environment or a certain status quo, and then you have an opportunity to escape, and you're definitely encouraged to escape, Sagittarius. So the context is flexible. Now, the tree and clover is a very nice sign for telling us that you want to wait for the right opportunity. The tree is a slower card. It's a card of patience. And then we have the clover, which helps turn things around because it's the card of luck. And the whip and stork is definitely a challenge here, but again, there's that element of escape, and the moon and coffin suggest the end of a phase. So you definitely want to let go of the situation, Sagittarius, but you have to wait for the right time and the right opportunity, and hopefully it comes within the week. If not, it's definitely a message for you to hang in there until the right opportunity comes. It will come, and you'll get to make a change. And again, Sagittarius, the context is flexible. It might be a job that you're stuck with, some people that you're stuck with, or maybe you went somewhere and it's not so great and you have to wait until you can leave, and so on. So the context is flexible, but the dynamic is the same. So let me know what you make of this, Sagittarius. As always, I look forward to your feedback if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Capricorn, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Capricorn, here is your line of 7. A little bit challenging, but not dramatic. We have the mouse and coffin and the bird, and these are somewhat challenging cards. What seems to stand out, what jumps out here, Capricorn, is that you're not able to move forward as much as you want, and you have to wait longer. So this could be a bit frustrating. And then there's also the idea of having to have a conversation. We have the rider, the bird, and the garden. So it's like you have to follow up with meetings, maybe inquire more, and do things like that. And of course, these ideas can apply in different contexts. So backing up at the beginning of the line, we have the heart and rider, which is about pursuing things that you want and being, motivated and wanting to do these things. But then we have the mouse, which dampens the waters a little bit, maybe a bit disappointing, and certainly not progressing as much as you'd like. There is also challenges that come your way. So maybe you have to stop what you're doing or slow down, take care of some gaps, take care of some issues before you can move on. We have the moon and coffin here, which points to the end of the phase. And the moon can also be an offer. So it sounds like you get an opportunity, but you don't want to move forward with it just yet. Capricorn, you want to have a conversation, go have a meeting with this person to find out more, or to continue gathering the information, or following the steps that you need to. So this is not a deal breaker by any means, but it is a bit like getting in your way and maybe stopping things for a bit for this week. So you have to slow down, you have to step back, you have to fix things, and it might require you to get in touch with others, meet with some people in order to follow up and do these things. And these ideas can apply in different contexts. So you could be working on something official, for example, where you have to submit papers, applications, and do these things. And it's not, you have gaps. So go back and fix it and add and do all of these. When it comes to people, for example, there could be someone who's not really communicative, or something happens, they postpone the meeting, they do things, and then you're able to follow up again, and so on. So those sorts of dynamics, and they can apply in different contexts. Now, the mouse and coffin can suggest an ending, like outright. And it suggests that things are tapering off and sort of dwindling away and dying off and things like that. So that is possible. The rider and bird is very much about a conversation. So you might want to be proactive about this, Capricorn, and go seek a conversation. And then the heart and garden is actually really bright. It's a lovely combination for good feelings, happy vibes, and a good connection. So again, it's not lost. These are just temporary issues that you need to deal with. And this meeting can be quite satisfying and can give you answers and can feel really hopeful. So overall, Capricorn, a bit of a slowing down, but for the better, for a good reason, I mean. And follow the steps. You can't take shortcuts, or do anything like that. So slow down, follow through, or wait. And then when you can, have the conversation, meet with people, and pursue these objectives. On the job, for example, you could be going after projects, but then things come in your way, and you can't, and you have to wait. And then when you have an opportunity, you go out to market and, you network and do these things, and then it picks up. So just a slowing down this week overall, Capricorn. Let me know what you make of these ideas. Let me know in what context they played out for you. As always, I look forward to your feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aquarius, here is your line of 7. It's looking pretty bright, mainly because of the lovely flowers, and the rest of the cards are supportive. We also have the ship, which is quite positive. It's great for pursuits and journeys, and it comes with the road. So the ring at the top here can point to a relationship or some kind of agreement or a commitment that you engage in. Earlier, we have the tree, flowers, and then the road and ring. So it sounds like you were waiting on an agreement or getting together with someone or getting feedback in order to pursue this journey. And you do. And then we have the beautiful ship and letter, which again pursues this road ring situation. And the letter and cross points to some important news. So to me, this sounds like an agreement or the understanding that you're going to move ahead. You might also need to give feedback or follow up on some communications to make this possible. It can mean paperwork, but it can also be contacting others. So that really depends on your specific situation. So it's lovely and bright, and it points to progress and things moving ahead. Now, the road and ship is very much about movement and travel and going places. So these changes or this opportunity can involve going places like in a physical way. The flowers and letter is lovely for feedback, just like we picked up earlier, and it points to good news. And the tree and cross here, it can be quite a significant pair, Aquarius. It can mean that what's ahead is important and this is a growing phase and you could evolve through it. So it could be quite an important thing happening here. The cross can also suggest some responsibilities. The cross has a somewhat challenging side, and in this sense, it can mean having to live up to certain expectations, having to follow through and take on these responsibilities. But it's still aligned with your goals, it seems to me, Aquarius. Now, in terms of a relationship, the same idea applies. Maybe you're waiting to hear back from someone and they do, and then perhaps you're going places together or you're meeting and you're following through on this communication. So in any context, whether this is a personal relationship, another kind of relationship, or some involvement or commitment or agreement that you are pursuing, Aquarius, it looks like it works out and it looks like you're able to act on it and you need to follow through on certain aspects of it. So a definitely more active week. Let me know how you resonated with these ideas, Aquarius, and in what context you feel this played out for you. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with this. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Pisces, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Pisces, here is a line of 7 for you. It's kind of curious. We have a couple of challenging cards here, the mouse and the snake. And then we have the woman. So these people cards here, the woman and dog, they can be people connected to the challenging episode here, or they could be other people. So backing up, we have the house with the ship, along with the mouse and snake. So it seems to me that you're traveling and moving around a little bit. You could also be moving. And it doesn't sound like it's the easiest thing right now, Pisces. But with this stork, which is also a card of movement, we have the woman and dog. The dog is a card of friendship. So I have to wonder if this person doesn't come in to support you with these challenges, to help you out with the challenges that you're going through, Pisces. And if you have someone you can tap into for this, then you definitely want to follow through. So the snake is at the top, and this points to a move or changes. So it sounds like the situation you land in, Pisces, is a bit complicated and you need to find a way around it. And this person probably comes in to support you. The mouse and stork suggest that your changes are not easy. There can be mishaps. There can be difficulties. The ship and woman points to travel. It could represent you or it could represent someone else. And again, it could be that person who supports you with this. And then we have the house and dog, which points to a family friend or a friend who could, again, be that person who supports you. I'm also thinking that maybe it has to do with where you live, how you live, renting, and things like that. And so it's possible, Pisces, that your current living situation is not easy or it has issues, and someone can come in to support you to resolve these issues or actually help you move. So they can be someone like an agent or someone you rent from, and so on. It can also mean someone you rent out to. You know, if we're talking about home and housing and things like that, maybe you've gone through some issues, but then you find a new person to rent out to. Now, of course, the cards can apply in different contexts. So, for example, with work, there can be challenges on a project. And so changes are needed. And this person comes in to help you with the changes. It could be a customer, it could be a partner, or someone else who supports. When it comes to personal relationships, I have to say, Pisces, that the snake is not great in personal relationships. And seeing it at the top, along with the mouse and stork, I feel that there could be some person that you need to move away from and maybe just focus on someone who's actually friendly and whom you can trust. So we are seeing some changes. We are seeing a bit of a sticky, tricky situation for you, Pisces, this week, and you need to resolve it. It seems to be related to a place where you live or how you live or certain people within a certain environment. And then someone can come in to support you with this. So again, if you can tap into someone to help you resolve these issues and make changes, Pisces, then do this this week. So let me know how these cards played out for you. They're kind of flexible, but they're kind of interesting as well. So I would appreciate your feedback, Pisces, if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself.